Kanuhit bin, Uvanga Sikanyagyaksek. Good afternoon, everybody. My native name is Sun is Shining. I do go by Sandy, though that's more of a nickname. We are so thankful that you are joining us today to learn about our high school scholarships. This webinar is presented today by the College Readiness Department. Our goal is to support high school to college enrollment. And we are going to invite students, if you are allowed to have cell phones in school and your teachers and counselors are okay with it, please feel free to grab your cell phone and go to www.menti.com, and you can use the code 82006959 to participate in the webinar today. We're going to have some fun questions that we're going to be asking throughout the webinar, and we'd love to hear what your responses are and your thoughts. There's going to be places where you can actually ask questions in a Q&A at the end of the webinar. So we highly recommend you to check out Menti. If students are not allowed to use their cell phones in school, but they have tablets or laptops, they are also welcome to log in on those devices as well. So it's www.menti.com, and the code is 82006959. At the end of this presentation, we will have a spot where you can ask questions. So Menti is going to be the best place for you to post any questions you have about the webinar today. Next slide. Just to give everybody a chance to log in for a moment, we wanted to ask you in Menti, what state are you watching from? Go ahead and go to www.menti.com, and you're using the code 82006959. We're going to give everybody about 1 minute to log in to Menti, and go ahead and tell us what state you're watching from. All right, I don't see any responses yet, but Menti, oh, here we go. Menti will continue to collect responses throughout the webinar. So if it takes you a couple minutes to log in from wherever you're watching from, it will go through the questions and ask. So no worries if we go to the next slide and you're still logging into Menti. It'll take just a little bit of time for everybody to log in. That's perfectly okay. We just wanted to give you a chance to tell us where you're watching from. So I see Arizona is in the house. Welcome, Arizona. For everybody who has just logged in now, I know people are still trickling into this meeting today. We are starting with menti.com. Students are welcome to log in with cell phones. Staff are also welcome to log in with cell phones if cell phones are allowed at their schools. If not, no worries. You can also use a device like a school laptop or a school tablet if you have those. Participation is not required, but we just really enjoy hearing from you. And this is going to be our main place for asking questions at the end of this presentation. So feel free to join us on Menti. All right, I see South Dakota is in the house as well. Welcome, South Dakota. Welcome, Arizona. Koyana, thank you for attending. All right. We're going to move on to the next slide, but if you haven't had a chance to answer that question, no worries. When you log into Menti, you should still have the chance to answer that question as we move along. Next slide, please. We wanted to give you one more chance to tell us who you are. So my question for everybody is, what grade are you in? Do we have any 9th graders or 10th graders and teachers? Yes, we do. I see we have some 11th graders. We have some 12th graders, and we have a teacher in as well. Thank you for those of you who are logging in on Menti. We still have classrooms that are just now logging in. Those of you who are logging into our webinar today, welcome, Koyana. Thank you for attending today's webinar. My name is Sandy Paco, and we are using menti.com. The code is on the top of every page that we have a question. It's 8200-6959. All right, next slide. Just to introduce myself or tell you a little bit more about what I do at the College Fund, my name is Sandy Paco. I am the College Readiness Program Administrator at the American Indian College Fund. I work in the College Readiness Department that helps students to consider college and prepare for college. That includes any college readiness topic, from learning more about the FAFSA, from learning more about our scholarships, from also having a chance to learn about what the first year process, the first year experiences look like, all of that good stuff. And I am Inupiaq. I was born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska. However, I am remote working from home in Oregon. All right, I will let Jenna go ahead and introduce herself next.
Dakiapi, Jenna Gray Imachiapi. I am Sichongu Lakota. My name is Jenna Gray. I'm the College Readiness Associate at College Fund. I support all of Sandy's work and collaborate with her and Erin. I'm working remotely from Phoenix, Arizona, originally from the Rosebud Sioux tribe. Mobila.
Thank you, Jenna. And can you turn on your camera just for a moment and give them a wave so they can see you? Thanks. Go ahead, Erin.
Hi everyone, my name is Erin Redshirt. I'm Sukanju and Ogallala Lakota on my dad's side. I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado, and that's currently where I'm at right now. That is where our home office is. I'm the program assistant for our college access and success space, and I'm really excited to be with you all this afternoon. So I look forward to sitting in on this presentation with you all. Thank you.
Next slide.
Oops. All right, so this is the American Indian College Fund mission and vision. The American Indian College Fund invests in Native students in tribal college education to transform lives and communities. So we do this through various ways. We were founded in 1989, and for over 31 years, we've been supporting Native American students in college access and support. And we also do a lot of TCU building. So we do a lot of support with our tribal colleges, but our biggest is funding students and scholars and potential scholars like all of you. We'll go next slide. First, we at the College Fund would like to acknowledge that the American Indian College Fund is located in Colorado on ancestral lands of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute nations. There were other 48 additional tribes that have cultural ties to the land in Colorado. And so this is how we like to open up our presentations to show respect and gratitude for those before us. Go ahead, next slide. This is a little bit about our agenda. So students and staff will walk away knowing about the college funds, scholarships, and understand the process of how to apply. So we're going to go over an overview of our scholarships, the process, the requirements, and as well as staff guidance. So we're really going to show staff kind of the process of how to walk students through that scholarship opportunity. And then we will be closing it at the end. So we'll go ahead and next slide, turn it over to Jenna.
Okay, we have some amazing prizes for students who complete the post survey. It will enter you into a raffle. We have some American Indian College Fund swag. We got some really cool like coffee mugs. We got some really cool beanies and a little tote bag and some stickers. So you'll have, if you are watching this recording, you'll have until February 17th to complete the survey for your prizes. Staff who complete the survey as well will also receive a small token of appreciation for attending today's event. We have some really cool stuff, so please don't forget to fill out that survey. Thank you.
All right, so before we get started, we kind of wanted to go back to Menti and ask how much do you know about the College Fund scholarships, if anything, if you've heard them from staff members, if you've heard them from maybe our social media online, really just anywhere. It's okay if you've never heard of them or if you've only heard a little bit. That's kind of the goal of today's presentation, is to create a better understanding of our process. So that way at the end, you'll kind of have a better understanding of everything that we have to offer. And it seems great. So we got a lot of responses coming in of people who've heard of them, people who know a little bit more, and then hopefully everyone at the end will be in that I know a lot about them. So we'll go ahead and continue with our next slide. So we wanted to introduce you to the Full Circle Scholarship. This is the one main scholarship program that we offer here at the College Fund. We do a partnership with this campaign called Think Indian. So you might see some of our promotional items, pens, bookmarks, notebooks. Some of them might be branded with this Think Indian campaign on it, and it is tied with our scholarships. So next we'll kind of go over that. These are just some statistics, just some basics. You don't really have to memorize any of it, but we just kind of wanted to provide you more background information on our scholarships. These are on the left-hand side are our stats from 2021, 2022, where we dispersed over $11.8 million in scholarship funds to Native students across the nation. We awarded around 3,200 students who were attending around 250 different colleges and universities. So a lot of those are tribal colleges, mainstreams, community colleges, technical, you name it. We provide a lot of scholarships to our students, whether or not they're pursuing an associate's degree, a bachelor's, master's, and even doctoral programs. So each year we have new donors and we're giving out different kinds of scholarships, and a lot of them are tiered. So that way you can keep us in mind for later on as well, if you decide to continue your path in higher education. The eligibility for this Full Circle Scholarship is you plan to be enrolled full-time for the fall semester that you plan on attending and applying for the scholarship. The university and college that you attend needs to be accredited, a nonprofit, and GPA 2.0. You'll also need to be an enrolled tribal member or a descendant of one, so if you're able to provide documentation. And these scholarships need to be submitted by May 31st. So our scholarships open every February 1st. So we're about the second week in kicking off our scholarships right now. And that application will be good until May 31st. And that will be applied to your fall semester. So if anybody has any questions about these, feel free to drop them in the chat. I believe we also have some links in there as well that we'll be dropping in there, so you can reference our website later on as well. But we'll go ahead and continue with our next slide. This is a video that we would like to show one of our scholars, kind of just talking about scholarships and the opportunities that we offered and how it's affect this student. So we're going to go ahead and spotlight this.
I think they also talk about the importance of considering tribal colleges, Erin. So it'll be nice to hear from the tribal colleges that work with the American Indian College Fund. So it's just a really great thing to think about if you're a student and you're not really sure where to go.
Yes, and we will be linking, or we will be referencing our social media later on too, which has our YouTubes and our YouTube channel where you can find a lot more videos like this as well. So we'll go ahead and get this one started.
Hi, I'm Amber Johnny and I'm going to Elizabeth College in Barrow. I like most of the culture, how much culture they include, because I am Inupiaq and I wasn't much into my culture growing up, and I realized how important our culture is and our language and how we're the next generation.
Yeah, I just feel like home at college, you know, all of our teachers are always there for you. Like, if you want to call someone at the middle of the night, ask for help, they will answer for you. In class, they help you. They push us to apply for all the scholarships, apply for different schools, apply for even summer internships. Like, they really try to help us financially and just be there for us too.
You get one-on-one, which is very important, and it helped me out a lot. I learned better one-on-one and hands-on and stuff.
I'm going into social work, and I wanted to help the youth go into education and let them know that there's more to life than just there is. They actually want to help you, and if you have a tough time understanding the word, getting the work in, they'll be flexible with you.
I have never received so much support and guidance. Like, I finally feel like I'm succeeding in life. Like, I finally feel like I can do something. Attending to like a normal college, you're just like another student. By attending Illy Slavic, they reach out to you and you're important to them, and they will do anything that they can to help you.
All right, so now that we got a chance to check out that video, we're going to ask another question on Menti. This question is, what is a life goal that you have that higher education can help you with? So although you're in high school, you may have thought about what you could do in the future, and you're kind of considering your options right now with school. And so what would higher education help you with in life that you would want to achieve as a life goal? So we'll give about a minute for people to kind of think on it for a second and put their answers in there. It looks like we have a few for welding, which is awesome. And yeah, feel free to think as big as you'd like as well, and as long as it's appropriate. Awesome, we're seeing some more responses roll in. More welding, lawyer, CEO, art, and just doing your dream job. I think we also have our lifetime to think about that as well, but education can really give you that foot up. We're seeing some teaching in here, dental hygienist. These are some really great answers, and hopefully that kind of just gets your wheels turning about what kind of options you have available. We'll just give it about another minute. If I can, oh, scroll down as well, so some options. Yeah, and hopefully seeing some other people answer this question will kind of get some ideas turning in your head as well. Awesome, this is all looking very great. All right. Well, hopefully this got you all thinking a bit about the possibilities. We're going to go ahead and move from this question, but if you're still typing, no worries. We have a copy of this and we'll be reviewing these answers later, so you still have access to type in there as well. We're going to go ahead and go to our next slide. I'm going to take it over to Sandy.
Thank you so much for giving us a chance to think about how higher education can have an impact in our lives. Erin, that was really great. And it was also really nice to hear from some Native students on how higher education has impacted them and their lives. One thing I really enjoy hearing about that I saw from that video, as well as from some of our answers here, is Native students often like to think about, how do I give back to my community? How do I give back to my aunts and my uncles and my grandparents and my elders and my siblings and brothers and sisters? And just having that time to just think about what we can do for our communities is such an important part of our culture. So I really enjoyed taking that time with our students today to think a little bit about what they might want to do. I'm going to go over into the details of our scholarships now, and I'm really excited about going over this with you because big announcement, we have for the first time this year high school scholarships dedicated to your schools. If you're watching here today from a school or a counselor or a teacher gave you this link so that you can watch, you are uniquely eligible for a brand new set of scholarships that the American Indian College Fund just got this past fall. We've never had them before, and we are dedicating them just to a very small cohort of that 50 or 60 high schools that work with the American Indian College Fund. We call them our Higher Pathways partners. Because they are in a Higher Pathways program with us. So any student who is attending a school this year, who is a senior looking into going to college next fall, you are uniquely eligible for this scholarship. The really wonderful thing that I'm excited about with these scholarships is that 50 to 60 high schools is not a big cohort. Think about some of the other scholarships that you apply for throughout the year. Some of them are like national scholarships, and you're competing against hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands of other students. But with this scholarship, this is like dedicated to you guys. You guys are like the stars of our program here, and we want to make sure that we offer some supports for those schools that work with us as partners. So I have been working with your schools to provide incentives and marketing to communicate these scholarships that are dedicated to you. And we want to really work with your high school staff and teachers. We really need your partnership to help share the details of this really special opportunity with your students. They have a great chance, a great opportunity to get some scholarships with us. So I'm going to go into those details next. Next slide, please. So if you're wondering, what is that list of schools that we work with? You'll probably find your school list here. This is in mostly alphabetical order, although we had two last minute additions on the very end. So those last two are not in alphabetical order. This is our list of schools that we work with. Hopefully you see your school name here. Some schools we also don't have necessarily, but we have the school districts because sometimes we work with a whole entire school district. So you may see your school here, or you may see your school district here. If you don't see it and you received this invitation, no worries. This list is still expanding. We still have partners that are coming on in the next month or two. So this list will continue to expand as we have those partnerships. So any school that has received a Higher Pathways grant from us, they've been in our Higher Pathways program this year or last school year, is eligible for the scholarship. So all of those students, we're really dedicating the scholarships to you. Next slide. I'm just curious who's in the house today. Can you tell me what high school you're watching from? And we do ask that you include the full name. If you go to, let's say, like Central High School, if you put CHS, I don't know what CHS necessarily means. So we ask that you try to put the name in there. So let's give you guys a moment and see where you come from. Yes, I see Waupalasmi is in the house. And any, the Waupalas district, all of those schools are covered. Timberlake High School, recognized. Crazy Horse. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. McLaughlin, St. Ignatius, Dodson. Oh, it's wonderful to see so many schools here today. I'm so excited. I recognize all these names because I have been working with these schools now for about a year and a half since I came on board with the College Fund. And we hope to continue to really work with you and help you get the information about these new scholarships out to your students. Next slide. Thank you for those of you who shared. Just some guidance for teachers as we get into the nitty-gritty details of our scholarships. Staff, please feel free to share our incentive flyers. We're going to be sending you all of the links at the end of the presentation to our scholarship, to our walkthrough videos that you can share with students to help them if they're not sure how to apply. We have other links that we're going to be sharing with you today. We just realized that we couldn't share them in the chat to any participants today, so no worries. We're going to email this to anybody who has registered for this conference, and I will email it to all of the Higher Pathways partner schools as well. And the flyers will be in there, so we're going to ask that you share the flyers with your students and families. You could print the flyers that we send out and post them in your classrooms, in your offices to get the word out. You can print them and share them with students and families to get the word out about them being uniquely eligible for our scholarships. I also encourage staff to consider having students complete the essay questions, which we'll go over in just a moment, in classrooms. It's okay if you share the scholarship essay questions, there are 3 of them, with your students. It's okay if you do this as a assignment that they can get some extra credit for, or credit for, however you want to do that. You can even walk them through the application in an event like a college night, or if you wanted to have a special scholarship night, that would be a wonderful way to help students apply, or even just during class. That's probably actually one of the best ways to help your seniors consider applying for the scholarship. Because if they're in class, they're more likely to get it done. I know then sometimes if we try to do events at night, not everybody's always able to attend. We get that. People have lives after school and they have lives after work. So feel free to walk them through the scholarships in class. It's not cheating. It's okay. We want to see as many scholarship applications as possible. We will have a walkthrough video that we're going to share, and it'll be in the links page. We have one links page at the end. We'll make sure to share this entire PowerPoint with you. You can share this with students. You'll have all of the links that you need. All right, next slide, please. All right, so I said I was going to share the scholarship essay questions because I know students and staff are probably wondering, what are they going to ask of me? The first question is, what challenges have you overcome to attend college? And I encourage students to think about any challenges that you want to share that you are considering. So I know you're not in college yet, but you can think about what challenges have you overcome to attend school, to prepare for college. Any of that we're going to look at, and we're going to be thinking about as we learn about you. These questions give us a chance to know about you. The scholarship is competitive, so the number one way that we rate we assign points for your scholarship applications is how well you thought of each of these questions, and did you answer them thoroughly? Did you tell us your story? Think about storytelling. Storytelling in our cultures is so important, and we want to hear your story. We're the American Indian College Fund, so we welcome you to share your story as you answer these questions. Number two is, what are your educational and career goals, and how will the scholarship help you to achieve them? So we kind of asked you that earlier in the presentation today in a Mentimeter question. Hopefully that got your mind starting to think about what education can do for you. Go ahead and take some time to brainstorm this in the next day or two before you apply. I would highly recommend students go ahead and like bullet point through these questions the first time. The first time you think like, okay, I want to share this, and this. And then from there, once you have that brainstorm, it's going to help you to actually build out the sentences for the questions. And then last but not least, our third question is, how will you use your education to impact your native nation or Indian country? How are you going to give back? That's what this question is asking for. How are you going to help your tribe? How are you going to help the people that are in your circle? So think about your circle being your elders, your aunts and uncles, your brothers and sisters, your cousins, step family, anybody who is in your circle that you can help with your education. One tip I do want to share with you is to consider writing all of your reflection responses the first time as a first draft in a Word document of some sort. You can use Microsoft Word, you can use Google Docs if you're comfortable with that, but write everything down in there before you put it in the application. And then go ahead and continue to refine. So that first time you might think about putting bullet points just to kind of plot out exactly what you want to include in these questions. And then from there, you can create the sentences. And from there, you can read through it and see how you like it, if you're missing things, if you want to add or change things. And then once you feel like you have a finished draft, I would highly encourage you to take some time to share your responses with a peer or a teacher, have them read through them, and have them provide feedback to you. This is going to help make your essay really strong, so that you have a really good story to tell and share with us. That's really going to help out with us, not only for how we score, but the American Indian College Fund is not just one big scholarship. We actually have a database of hundreds and hundreds of scholarships. All you have to do is apply. When you apply to our one scholarship, the Full Circle Scholarship, it's one application, and then we look at how you answer these questions, and we match you with the scholarships that apply to what you said in your essay. So giving us more information means that that gives us enough to match you to more potential opportunities for scholarships. So just some things to think about. All right, next slide. Teachers, I was just telling you that we have flyers that you can post in your classroom or print out and even give to students. These are what the flyers look like. So the new one is the ones that says, "Attention seniors, apply for an American Indian College Fund scholarship and earn a $25 e-gift card." Students and staff, we are giving out $25 if you complete our scholarship application by May 31st. This is while supplies last, so I highly recommend that students don't wait until the deadline on May 31st to apply. Get in your scholarship application as soon as possible so that you can be sure to earn $25. So as soon as we start running out of funds, I will let your teachers know to be really transparent with them. But we have a lot of funds right now. This thing just opened up. So if you put in your application, we will be awarding you with a e-gift card. You can use that at any major retailer. What happens is Erin, Jenna, and I, every 2 weeks on the 2nd and the 4th Fridays of the month, we'll go through and see which applications we received from our Higher Pathways high schools. And if we see your student names in there and you've hit submit and your application is absolutely complete, then we will go ahead and purchase an e-gift card. It will go to your email address, and we'll let your teachers know kind of as we're processing these. And you'll just need to keep an eye out on this after the 2nd and 4th Fridays of the month to see if you've gotten your e-gift card. If you have any issues whatsoever, you can talk to your teachers. The teachers have my contact. It's nativepathways@collegefund.org. And we'll make sure to send you a gift card while the funds last for that. In addition, we are still doing $25 e-gift cards for FAFSA. If you have completed FAFSA and if you're a senior and you've completed FAFSA this year, then you can show your FAFSA to your teacher. So like take a screenshot or show them like the email. They usually send out an email confirming that you completed FAFSA. Show that to your teacher. Your teachers have been given a link from me where they can submit a list of the names of all the students that have completed the FAFSA. And when I say teacher, that could be your academic counselor, whoever it is that works with us. We have a lot of educational staff that are working with us, not just teachers. But our Higher Pathways contact will let us know. And again, on the 2nd and the 4th Fridays of the month, we process those. And that's while supplies last as well. I bet some of the people listening in here, some of the students listening in here now have already gotten their $25 gift cards because we've given out at least 200 of them. Thank you for those of you who have turned in your gift cards already. And thank you to the staff for submitting their names. All right, next slide, please. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of everything to know about the application. So I'm going to turn it over to Jenna.
Hello. Thanks for sharing all of that information, Sandy. Great info. Just a reminder, you guys have an opportunity to earn $50. So get on that FAFSA and then start working on this scholarship. This is an application like a checklist for you. These are 3 important things that you need before you begin. You'll need to have proof of tribal enrollment or a descendant, your CIB, or tribal papers. So what you'll need to do is take a picture of that and upload it and have it on your computer and ready to go. Number 2, a nice photo. It says no casual selfies, no cropping a group picture. So no cropping a group picture looks like if you were taking a picture with all of your friends and then you crop everybody else out but yourself. They just want it to be a nice picture because they share these pictures with their donors. And so it needs to be, something that is school appropriate. If you have a school picture, just a nice picture, even, standing up against the wall, your teachers are more than welcome to help you. You're also going to need your unofficial transcript. So high school students, you can pick that up in the office or get it from your guidance counselor. And you'll have to have that, all three things ready right when you open up your application, because you can't move on to the next part of the application until you upload those three things. Next slide. Things you need to know. So this application can take up to 1 hour to complete, but we want you to consider that if you work on your questions before and you have it saved on that Google Doc or saved in Microsoft, that you can go back and copy and paste. It might take a little bit longer. It might be a little bit shorter for you. It just depends on yourself and how you're going to complete the application. They are requesting that you do not use a mobile device, so no cell phones. You will need a laptop or a desktop computer to complete the application. Gift cards, like Sandy said, will be processed every 2 weeks until March 31st, or May 31st, I'm sorry, May 31st, and that is while supplies last. So do not wait till the very last day to turn in your application. The sooner the better, because right now it is while supplies last. Next slide. And then we have the due and turn in. So it says applications are open from February 1st until May 31st. We have a couple links right here that you can go to that are short videos that help you have a better understanding of how to create a profile, because that's one of the first things that you'll do when you go to the scholarship link is you'll have to create a profile for yourself to fill out the application. And then there's a link for the scholarship application walkthrough. It is a step-by-step, process by process, exactly word for word. And it's really good information. So teachers, please, share those with your students. You can even watch them. They're really short videos, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time. Thank you. Next slide. Now we're going to turn it back over to Sandy.
Thank you so much for sharing kind of the process of the applications, Jenna. We will be sharing all of these links. We have a slide at the very end of this PowerPoint that has all of the relevant links. We're going to email it to anybody who registered on Zoom for this webinar today. We'll also email it to all of the teachers. So teachers, feel free to share out all of the slides in this presentation with your students. One question that sometimes comes up to us, especially when working with the high school students, is a note on what tribal enrollment and descendancy looks like. And so I just want to let staff know, if you're working with students who need to get their tribal enrollment, or maybe they're working on trying to get duplicate paperwork or descendancy status, just to be aware there's many types of documents that tribes use to provide proof of tribal enrollment or descendancy. The CIB card is also known as the Certificate of Indian Blood. We do accept that. And then there's also, in addition to that, specific paperwork that come from each tribe. Those are the tribal enrollment and descendant papers. They often come with a tribal enrollment number on them. Sometimes they look like a little card, just like the CIB card. I kind of describe the CIB card or the tribal enrollments cards. They look kind of like a driver's license, but they're not. They'll usually say, in tribal enrollment, or this person is a member of, such and such tribe. Mine is actually just paperwork, but some people have cards. It really can be different among the different tribes. So just be aware of that, that every student's going to have a different set of documents based on their tribe. And then if there are questions about helping a student or a family enroll in a tribe, we want to share this link with you. This is the Bureau of Indian Affairs website. We're going to share this link at the end of our presentation again. We'll email it out. At this website, you can look up all of the federally recognized tribes in the United States, and they have a list of contact information for those tribal offices. So you can share this with students and families who need to get tribally enrolled. One thing I just want to be really clear on is that every tribe has a completely different set of requirements for what tribal enrollment looks like for their tribe. So just be aware of that. So we really highly encourage you if you have any questions about what tribal enrollment looks like, contact the tribal office that is the relevant one for that student or that family. The College Fund is unable to provide assistance in enrollment because every tribe has its own sovereignty to set their rules for what tribal enrollment looks like. They may require different paperwork. They may require a different process. It looks different among all of the tribes, so just kind of be aware of that. And the last thing I'd like to share is please be aware that applications to a tribe for either enrollment or even duplicate paperwork could take a significant amount of time to process. So don't wait until the last minute to ask for tribal enrollment, like the day before or even the week before the deadline for our scholarships. Personally, for me, just to share my experience, when I got my Certificate of Indian Blood card, I went to a Bureau of Indian Affairs office in Anchorage, Alaska. It only took me an hour or two, and I had to have a couple documents, so I called them ahead of time, said, hey, I'm trying to get my CIB card, what do I need? They gave me a list of what to bring, so I was like prepared, and then I show up and I just had to fill out a few documents. Easy. That was not my same process for enrolling and getting my actual tribal enrollment in my specific tribe. I ended up taking I think it ended up taking 6 to 8 months for me to actually get that done, and that was because my tribal office had closed down during COVID, and then after they had reopened, they were also in the subsistence life season where they're going hunting. And so I had to wait for the tribal council to get back from hunting and whatnot. So just be aware applications to a tribe for enrollment can take some time. Start that process early. That's my recommendation. Next slide. We have time for a few quick questions. We're not going to probably be able to answer every question today, but we'll pick a few that we think probably apply to most students, or a question that is applicable to most students. So if you want to drop a question, we're going to give you a moment here to do so. Go ahead and go to menti.com and drop a question if you have one. Just waiting another minute in case anybody has any questions. Again, that's www.menti.com. The code is 82006959. Are these schools for top Gs? I don't know exactly what that means. If whoever asked that question, if you can, I don't know what you mean by top Gs. Top grades? If you're talking about top grades, then I can answer that question. The scholarships are for Native seniors this year who are planning to go to school they're planning to go to college next fall. And you don't necessarily have to have top grades to get a scholarship from us. We do like to let you know that the scholarship is competitive though. So when you're completing your application, we really encourage you to give us as much information as you apply for the scholarships as possible. So there are questions. We have the 3 essay questions, and we ask you to take a lot of time and thought in answering those questions because that gives you a higher score. And then our scholarships are also they're awarded points based on other information that you provide to us. There's a place where you can input extracurriculars. So if you are involved in any clubs, if you have things that you do like community service hours, you're volunteering, any extracurriculars, we do award points for that as well. There's a place for students to input any honors and awards that you have. And honors and awards doesn't have to necessarily be school. It could be tribal awards that you have been given, or things that you've been recognized for by your tribe. It can be community things that you've done and been recognized for. So anything you can think of that kind of makes you stand out as a student, we highly encourage you to put that in. But remember, the GPA, the GPA that we ask for minimum eligibility is 2.0. So it's not necessarily always going to be the student with the highest GPA that is awarded. We're looking at the application as a whole. Good question. What degree of descendant is required? I don't believe we have a specific set, like, oh, you have to be like half or fourth or whatnot. We just require proof of a tribal enrollment. And I know that every tribe has the sovereignty to choose their own definitions for what is required for tribes. Some tribes have lineal descendancy, as other tribes they have really opened up their enrollment, and some of them are they're not looking at blood quantum as much anymore. So what we do is we really look at, are you able to get a CIB card, or are you able to get a tribal enrollment or descendancy paperwork? So we are not looking specifically at the degree of descendancy. Good question. I think we answered that one. Is the college free? Colleges are not necessarily free. However, some of them are low cost to attend. So our scholarships doesn't go to one specific college. It's just a scholarship, and you get to tell us where you're going to school, or where you're thinking about going to school, and that scholarship will follow you. So high school seniors, we recommend when you fill out this application, you kind of just put your first choice college, and then if your mind changes and later on you decide to go to a different school, then you can just email us and let us know. That scholarship will follow you to another school. But just to kind of answer that question, this is not a specific scholarship that goes to a specific college, no. Yes, I'm sorry, we didn't have the chat for this meeting because we were using Menti today, but we will be providing all of our presentation materials today and all of our links in email. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to email us when we send out that follow-up email. It'll probably come tomorrow. All right, next slide, please. All right, I wanted to take a moment now that you've heard about our scholarships and ask, did you learn anything? Did you learn any more? How are you feeling? How much do you know about scholarships now? So at the beginning of the presentation, most people were in the, I've heard of them, but maybe they didn't know more about them. It looks like people feel like they know a good deal or a lot. That's good. We're glad to see people are feeling really confident about this. And if you're still in that space where you're like, I still don't know enough about them, no worries. We actually have another presentation that we did on February 1st that also goes over the application. It was done by our scholarships team and Juan. We'll be sharing the link for that walkthrough as well. So if you feel like we didn't touch on quite all the information that you were hoping to hear about, you can also check out that video. All right, next slide. As we wrap up, I just want to remind you that we're not only a scholarships organization, but we offer other student supports as well. Throughout the years that we have served students with scholarships. We've also served students with events such as we have an annual tribal college and university fair. That was held last November. We'll have another one in the next November. Some of the students here might not necessarily be seniors. We're going to have scholarships and opportunities next year too. So don't worry. I know we're talking a lot to the seniors now, but this is good information for you to know for next year. Hopefully you get to attend this event next year as well when you become seniors, or the year after if you're a sophomore or a freshman. We do FAFSA events throughout the year as well. The best way to stay up to date on our student events is to sign up for our newsletter. If you go to collegefund.org and scroll to the very bottom of the page, you will see this little box that says Get Updates and News. I encourage students and staff to sign up for this because we release information about new scholarships and opportunities as they come, about FAFSA help events that we have. Sometimes we do student fun nights as well. Lots of cool things. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter. Next slide. Here is that links page that we'll be sharing with everybody. The links that I want to really draw your attention to is our main website. That's the collegefund.org site. And then the scholarships page is /students/scholarships. You don't have to remember that. We'll send you this link. And then we have an application walkthrough video that we'll be sharing from last week with Juan. We have that's the scholarships Q&A. They actually go through for 20 to 30 minutes and just answer questions from students across the country about the scholarships. So if we didn't answer your question today, I would highly recommend checking out the scholarship Q&A. The application walkthrough video kind of goes step by step what it looks like when you go to the website and you make that profile and you go through the questions. In addition to that, I wanted to share our FAFSA links with you as well. We have the link for where to sign up for FAFSA if you're a senior this year. And then we did events last November that helped students to learn more about the FAFSA. We recorded all of those events, so we can share those recordings with you in the links here as well. And then I think Jenna is going to give a reminder about prizes. So let's turn it over to her on the next slide.
Okay, so this is to be completed by February 17th. It's okay if you go ahead and go back and watch this video, or you share it with some of your classmates that missed it today. They will also have until February 17th. If you have a free moment right after this webinar, jump on the Survey Monkey and complete it. February 17th will be reaching out to our winners. We have these great prizes. We always try to, represent Native American heritage and different things. So we have a really awesome little buffalo. We have stickers. We have a tumbler. We have beanies. We have earbuds. We have stickers and just all kinds of really cool things. This strong, resilient, and indigenous coin pouch. Sorry. So please be sure to do that Survey Monkey and you'll have an opportunity to win one of these awesome prizes. Thank you for attending, and thank you for everything that all the educators are doing to help our students be successful.
I want to add that we also would love to see any high school staff do the survey. The survey is for students and staff. This is how we know how many students have attended in a watch party with you. We're giving out a small thank you coffee and treats to staff also who complete the survey. We have no way of knowing how many people are watching the survey if you didn't register, because some people, maybe they only registered one person, like the teacher or the counselor, and they're watching on a big screen. We don't have any way of knowing that you were attending unless you complete the survey. Then we can consider you eligible for prizes. So we really ask everybody who attended the survey today, please complete the survey. This is how we're going to contact you. We enter your name right from the survey into a big spinning wheel, and that's how it picks the prizes for who will win.
Yes, thank you for reminding me about the educators and the people that are helping and participating on this webinar as well. They will also have an opportunity to win something really great. Thank you.
Okay, last slide. All right. Koyana, thank you for attending today. Please feel free to follow us on social media. @Native Pathways is our handle. We are on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok as well. We keep those accounts up to date to let you know what events we have throughout the year. And we're really thankful that you were able to join us today. We will be sending out a link either today or tomorrow with that survey. Since we are not able to share in the chat today, we'll go ahead and just blast it out to anybody who registered for the webinar, and we'll be sharing it with all of the teachers to share with students as well. Koyana, have a good rest of your day.